And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Hi, it's John from Under the Table Hot Sauce. I'm here with my friend, the star of the show, Jimmy Farrow.
Yeah, what's up, JB?
Nah, nothing.
It's been a hot summer, and for all your barbecue needs, you can go to underthetablehotsauce.com. 13 unique flavors to choose from, created and bottled in a Long Island kitchen. Underthetablehotsauce.com. Let's go chow, JB.
Let's do it.
All the flavor, twice the burn. Okay, this is never easy to ask about, but let's give it a shot. I'll never forget watching this live. I do believe it was May 23rd, 1999. I don't have that date off, on paper here, but the Over the Edge pay-per-view, the loss of Owen Hart. Can you explain what it was like that night for yourself and the locker room? Just take us through that terrible evening, if you can, please.
Man, that night still cuts through me like a razor. I can see everything that happened that day. I remember seeing Owen before he went to go up top, and I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones I got to wrestle before the incident because I don't know if I could have gone to the ring after. I can tell you that for God's honest truth. Um, I remember Godfather went to the ring, and then the Blazer music hit, and next thing I know, King comes running in the back because I hear the crowd gasp, and I don't know what happened. And I remember King running in the back, and he was white as a ghost. And the only thing he said was, I think he's dead. And we're like, who? And it was Owen. And I was, oh, God, no. And man, that night still hurts me. Like I lose. I lose words when thinking about it. I can barely even talk about it. It was like losing a brother. It was like losing a friend. It was losing a confidant. It was losing the heartbeat of the locker room because the locker room was never the same afterwards.
Take me through Vince McMahon. How quickly did he react once this happened, and how quickly did he switch into a leadership role, or was he already in one right at that terrible moment?
Within seconds, Vince had to take control because that's his ship. He's the captain, and within seconds, he had to make a rough decision because people are like, "How did you keep going on?" No one had ever been through anything like that before, so it was unprecedented territory. Vince did the best he could do. Was it right? Was it wrong? That's not for me to judge. I just know that he took control of the situation, and from that point forward, he was all there for Owen, for his family, and for whatever they needed.
Can I ask you this? And it's not easy, probably, for you to answer this, but would Owen want you guys to continue that show? Because I've heard all these things over the years. What would Owen Hart have probably said to you guys?
I think Owen would have said, let's keep going. Let's just go. I think the entertainer in him, the worker in him, the talent in him would have just wanted the fans not to have missed out on the rest of what they had already paid for.
Was there a meeting the night after with you guys to discuss the tragedy? And was it?
Yeah, we talked about it, and then we were told that we were all going to fly to Calgary because the funeral happened within 4 or 5 days. So we literally flew home. It was Kansas City, then St. Louis. Flew home, packed a bag, and next thing we were all on the flights to Calgary. Like within 48 hours, we were all headed towards Calgary for the wake and for all the other everything else that went with it.
When the show was decided to continue, was there anybody that was very loud against continuing?
Not that I remember. I think everyone was just somber, and it was I mean, you saw, like, for example, Jeff Jarrett and Deborah were literally in tears, and that wasn't just on film. That was everyone with the back was like that. So that was just a continuation of being back there. I don't remember anyone, and it's all real. That part's a blur. I don't remember anyone all saying or anyone saying, "Let's stop this. Let's stop this." It was kind of like just more of what the hell's going on kind of thing.
How does it
I mean,
make you feel all these years later when you hear people with heavy opinions as to how could they continue? Does that anger you? Like you weren't there? Why don't you just shut your little keyboard fingers? I mean,
my thing is, you weren't there. You weren't in the moment, and I don't know anyone out there who's critiquing it who's made a multi-million-dollar decision to continue or not to continue within seconds. And I don't know many people out there who have that ability to make that decision. So here's the thing: is if you weren't there, then just let's just keep our opinions to ourselves at this point.
that's fair enough.
So when you see something like Dark Side of the Ring, does that bother you that they start pointing fingers of things should have been done differently?
Digging up the dirt.
You're going to get two sides to every story. I focus on Dark Side of the Ring when they're talking about Owen and his life and times, as opposed to they could have done this differently, or this rigging company should have done that. I like focusing on what I like to remember about Owen is his smile, his practical jokes, and his laugh, and his life, and that's where I just stop right there.
Fan Don the Barber has a question. He says, was Ahmad Johnson close to match strength in the gym with Mark Henry?
No, hell no. No, Mark Henry is the strongest thing I've ever seen on this planet, man or beast. There's it's a whole different level of strength.
Okay.
There are very few people who could come close to whatever Mark Henry did. I mean, that's just I've seen Mark Henry take 18-inch piece of rebar and bend it in a bow tie and hand it to somebody. No. Mm-mm.
I wasn't going to bring up the Ahmad Johnson thing, but since a fan asked it, what was the problem with Ahmad Johnson that you guys all seem to dislike about him?
Um, I don't think he had much respect for the business. I don't think he had much love for it. I think maybe it was a way of making money. I don't know. But he never clicked with a lot of guys in the locker room and just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I think he had a higher opinion of himself than the rest of the locker room did.
I can't tell if you're describing Ahmed or Goldberg.
Hey, all right there.
Boy, oh
All
boy, I
right,
gotta
bang
tell you.
bang. Let me get my gun. Let's shoot here.